I'm on my way to fly to the first competition of the year here in France. It's blowing like 37 knots, gusting 37 knots. It was just super crazy conditions, and I just wasn't really comfortable at all. I'm not gonna lie, it has been annoying. Going out, coming back in, going out, coming back in. So I've got a couple of hours to kill here in Malaga airport. I'm on my way to fly to the first competition of the year here in France. So left Tarifa, got here to the airport this morning, got 2 o'clock flight this afternoon. It's about 10:30 in the morning at the moment. But this isn't exactly how I thought I was going to be getting to Hier's. So the original plan with this event was that I'd fly there by myself, do the event, no coach. And yeah, for me, it's not really that crucial of an event in terms of the qualification for the Olympics and the schedule for the year. So I thought it would be better to save a bit of money and go without a coach and save up for more coaching back in Tarifa, which is my main focus for the year, or for this point in time, basically. And then Roman, my coach, thought that it would be a good idea if he came to here to, assess how our training's going, what we need to focus on going forward, and how my performance compares to the rest of the fleet. So that was the plan, and we are going to drive from Tarifa all the way to here, so 17-hour drive, even though I'd booked all these flights and everything. And then on Monday evening, I was at home in my apartment after training for the day, and I got a text message from Roman. And so then the whole plan sort of came back together, where I'm now flying to here by myself, going to do the regatta without a coach. Anyway, I'm now underway. We're going to be flying this afternoon, getting to Hier's this evening, and then getting into the training tomorrow. All right, so time for a little update from here. Today is my 4th day here. I got here Wednesday night, had my first day on the water Thursday. Yesterday was Friday, and today's Saturday. And it's been full of drama and lots of stuff going on. So on Thursday, my first day on the water, I was out racing on my 15-meter kite, doing some practice races, great conditions, flat water, sunny, basically everything you could ask for. And I was just randomly going slowly, waiting for the next race. Then all of a sudden, there's this massive bang, and the kite's, flailing around. It's on the water, kind of like something snapped, a line, bridle, whatever. Luckily, thanks to the help of the Spanish team, I managed to get back to the beach without swimming. But then dry the kite out, find that I'd snapped one of the bridle lines, which isn't the end of the world. After I dry the kite, I go to fly it to see, and I repair the bridle to see if everything's working. And the kite looked like this. So, as you can see, there's some huge lumps in the shape of the kite, which definitely should not be there. And so I asked my coach, who's, kite guru. He said that some of the ribs inside the kite, like these bits of sailcloth, basically, which keep the shape of the kite when it's inflated, were broken. And he also gave me a run through for how to repair it. So I thought, great. yesterday, as in Friday, I'll try and repair it, get it back out on the water, and I'll be good to go. Literally put like my blood and sweat into fixing this kite. I think there's also some blood stains still on the kite. And I did as much as I could, taped up a heap of ribs with sail repair tape, put it all back together. And so I went to fly the kite yesterday afterwards to check if it was all working. And I think the shape had actually gotten worse, if anything. So it looks like to me as if I'd taped some of the ribs inside the kite into the wrong places, and so the shape had gotten worse. So kind of 2 steps forward, 2 steps back sort of thing. And to be honest, I'm pretty frustrated with that situation, just because it's a lot of work, and obviously I couldn't get it done properly the first time. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for the event. It's the 15-meter kite, which is the most important one really. In one mind, I could try and repair it again, but that's probably just going to waste like at least another half day where I could be training and testing other gear. And on the other hand, I could just buy a used kite from someone, but that's also not going to be great either. So yeah, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. But then in good news, at least, I did receive yesterday my brand new kites here, which you can see me unboxing. These were the new Fly Surfer kites. Unfortunately, no 15 meter yet, so just the 23 meter and the 11 meter this time. And today it's looking like we're going to have some light winds, which will be perfect for testing the 23 meters. And I'm going to bring you guys along for that. I'm going to have the GoPro on for the testing, so stay tuned. And let's see what happens with the 15 meter. Today is day one of the event. It's finally come around. It's about 12:30 here. We're supposed to start at 2:30 for the guys. It's blowing like 37 knots, gusting 37 knots, something like that. So if we go out, it's probably going to be pretty spicy. I'm about to head down to the beach, got my food all sorted, hit the gym this morning, feeling fresh. So let's get into it, head down to the beach, see what's happening, see if we're going to race or not. Yeah, keen to get into it and get back into racing.
So, how did yesterday go?
Oh, not too good.
Yeah.
It was just super crazy conditions, and I just wasn't really comfortable at all. And I took out one of my new kites, which was probably the wrong choice, just because as in like I wasn't used to it and it reacts differently in those sort of conditions and stuff. I mean, no, it's fine. Yeah, and just haven't had enough practice racing and on a race course basically. So just didn't really have the confidence in start line and then first upwind and whatever. I had some good moments, had a couple of decent starts. But yeah, I just couldn't put together a first upwind.
And how's it looking today, hon?
Similar. But I think if it's this windy again, I'll probably take my even smaller kite that I'm a bit more comfortable on and had a bit more practice on.
qualified? And then have you worked out in your mind about the start?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna try out like being more aggressive to have more space to accelerate, and then basically just I need to do like what I do in training with Roman, where we like accelerate, have like enough room to accelerate, and then you hit top speed quicker, and try and just do that and replicate it in the race, because that's what I've been doing so much for the last month or whatever. On my way to the beach for today's racing, day number 3 of the regatta. So yesterday we did not get any races in. It was a very long day of waiting. Some pretty crazy stuff going on with the race committee yesterday. First so it was pretty windy, like 25 knots easily. First they sent everyone out. I was the second fleet, so I kind of delayed a bit. The launch was pretty sketchy. And then like 20 minutes after the first guys launched, they basically told everyone to come back. So good thing I didn't launch. We then waited an hour or two. We went out, and just as they were about to start our race, 30 seconds to go to the start, they called it off and sent us all back in again. Where we then waited for I think like 3 hours before they called it off for the day. So only 4 races into the regatta so far. Day 3, still in the qualifying. Today the weather's looking completely different, so let's get to it. It is looking light. So FXs are out on our course. I think looks like 5 to 8 knots at the moment. Going to be pretty nice on the 23 meter. Woke up, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, half an hour. Feeling good. Unfortunately, we only got 1 race yesterday, our 5th race. And for me, that did not go so great. I dropped, it was quite light. The race committee were, umming and ahhing all day about whether they would send us out or not. We had 1 attempt going out, trying to race, came back in shortly after, went out again, came back in shortly after, went out, and then finally got a race underway. And then, first upwind, I dropped attack in a massive spot of no wind, and didn't have any chance of coming back after that. But got 2 more days here. Got plenty of races still to keep training, which is great. So I'm gonna keep working on my weaknesses on the race course at the moment and keep plugging away. All right, just got down to the beach for the final day of racing. Another sort of frustrating day yesterday. Went out and they started our race, but then wind died in the middle of it, so another day of no racing. Forecast is looking pretty light again today, so hopefully we can finally get some races in, but we'll see. I'm keen to finish it off strong, but I'm not gonna lie, it has been annoying. Going out, coming back in, going out, coming back in, no racing again. So yeah, let's see what happens today. So I am back in Tarifa, and I thought it'd be a good time now to do a little recap of the week in Hierz. Obviously had way too many letters on my scorecard, and in reality, so a couple of UFDs, so being over the start line early, which I'm not too annoyed about, but then also a couple of DNCs, which is a little disappointing. Which ultimately just comes down to not doing, or not being able to do all my maneuvers in pressured race situations, which is obviously something that going forward we're going to need to work on in my program and adjust our program a bit so that I'm doing some more racing and also training against other people and putting myself under pressure and training a bit more, because it was pretty clear that when the pressure was on, I just hadn't done enough practice in that sort of stuff. And also pressure from the conditions. So in the event in France, I think we had basically the two extremes of the wind conditions. So we had very, very light wind and barely raceable, and we also had very, very strong wind and barely raceable. So for me, those, that's also an additional sort of pressure factor which was influencing my performance. So that's the plan going forward. Going to be doing more racing, more training with others, and also trying to expand my sort of condition range where I'm comfortable in, to try and get the best out of myself in the future. So yeah, that's it for this vlog. If you liked what you saw, or you want to follow along with how we're going to adjust the program going forward and how I'm going to continue trying to improve to get to the Olympics next year, make sure you hit the subscribe button and give me a comment if you enjoyed this style of video. And otherwise, we will see, or I will see you next time. Cheers.